Okay, I am live. We are live, and I'm just going to set the tone for our interactions today and open the space, the energetic space. So, those of you who are here, feel free if you're not driving or doing something that requires your attention to just bring your attention right into this space. And let's feel our feet on the ground, our crown connected to the heavens. And let's just intend for light and energy and our expansion to meet us here where we are on this timeline. So, as I did in the last live stream, I'm going to go ahead and set the directions of our container, our tent. That's how I'm seeing it. So, we're setting it's kind of like we're putting pegs in the tent: the south, the north, the east, and the west. And with that, we invite in the ancestors, we invite in our guides, we invite in our healing teams, and also the streams of consciousness who are of higher consciousness who are here to inform us and enlighten us as to what it is that we are open to receive today. And let's just put our hands on our hearts. Breathe into your heart. And as you do, just relax and open your intention to receive the next valuable thing that you need for your next step on your spiritual and human path. And with that, let's just intend to bring our higher selves into the mix. And I also invite in my team of light beings that help to channel energy and consciousness from source into all the things that I do. So welcome, everyone. Yay. Wow. You guys are here. Dorothy, Currency Kami, X Audrey. Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. And if there's anyone else that wants to chime in and let us know you're here. And of course, I welcome you to chat amongst yourselves. Dorothy has greeted everyone. And thank you, Dorothy, for my beautiful manifester friend who opens the door, opens the space and initiates the opening for the rest of us to go through. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here. And I have like a live stream format that I do. For those of you, I kind of like to track, for those of you who are following me, kind of trying to figure out what I'm doing in my business. I kind of like to track and report on my process so that you can watch me and see whether or not that resonates with you, or you get some inspiration from it, or you learn what not to do, which is, 3-5 profile here, the experimenter and the discoverer of what doesn't work. And then, of course, finding things that do work. So what I'm doing is I have a format that in my meditations came through. And the first part of that format is to open space and set the directions of our, the pegs of our container, so that we can have this space of light and energy and support that is, in a sense, safe, that's maybe a little bit more elevated out of the fray, so that we can focus on what it is that we need to get from these streams. So the second thing I have on my list is to remember to invite everyone to subscribe. So if you're not subscribed to my channel and you like these live streams, you like my videos, you want to be notified when new things get uploaded, please do hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell so that you are in the loop, that you are on the inside track of when things happen. And I invite those of you who are here now and here later to do that as well. Don't know what those notes are. Sorry, I have other notes. And so our topic today, the next thing I have on my list is our topic. So our topic today is about spiritual protection versus resilience, and how to, in a sense, navigate the energy. I also have notes here, by the way. Always helpful in a live stream. Can't guarantee that I'm going to be able to read my writing, though. And that's when we start to open up and let the light come through, and you all get what you need from a higher perspective. So, to ground our topic today, the general topic is about the need to protect yourself from negativity, or to feel like you need to protect yourself from negativity, how you may want to do that. I have some tips for you about shielding yourself. And I also want to talk a little bit about why I don't think that that's a long-term sustainable approach. So I'm going to start with that to sort of set the stage of where my perspective is. And while I'm doing that, I really want to invite those of you who are here, and if you come in at a later time and you're not here on the live, you can also put it in the comments, to consider and let us all know, when do you feel that you need to be protected or shielded from the harshness and stress of the world? So you can talk about that in terms of certain circumstances in your life that bring that feeling that you need to be protected. You can tell us about that. And you can also, I really want to know how you feel that in your body. What are those cues in your body that tell you that you're feeling vulnerable in a sense, or worn down, or like you don't have the reserves on your own to deal with the outside influences that can be understood as negativity and stress and harshness. So go ahead and think about that for a second, feel into your body, and I'd love to know what your perspective is on that. And while you're doing that, I'm going to just share a little bit of my perspective around this sense of needing to have protection from negativity, and why I don't think that it's a long-term sustainable way of working with or using your energy. And basically, I come from the perspective that if you invest your time, your energy, your intention, your focus into always feeling like you have to have energetic protection, and a lot of people do call in angels and their guides, and have rituals to do protection. If you feel that you need that all the time, what that seems to do is cement in your consciousness a sense of victimization, feeling like you are the victim to the outside influences, right? And nobody wants to be. I don't want you to be in that place where you're feeling like you're a victim and you have no control over what's going on in the world. Now, in reality, in your greater world, you don't have a lot of control over, who's attacking whom and what wars are being fought, and what's happening on social media, or all of that big picture stuff. And, if we want to take that back into the cosmic, the human design perspective, Ra Uru Hu, always wore, you can see him in videos and pictures wearing this hat that says no choice. A lot of people take issue with that. And how I see that is that, on the cosmic level, we really don't have a choice either, because we're sort of part of um, the whole mechanism of the universe. We're part of the whole, and the whole was set into place perhaps by our own intentions from a very, very high level, from when we were birthed from source, to play this game that we interpret through the astrological transits and through our own human design blueprints. We set that up. It's already in motion. So the only choices that we really have are the choices to just align with who we are, which is why a lot of you are into your human design experiment. Align with who you are, and go with and ride in this vehicle through this life experience. How we perceive that and the level of empowerment that we have around that, it can be variable. But in general, the big picture is we don't have choice. And on the macro, on the micro, in here, everything begins and ends with us. So when, in our day-to-day choices of what am I going to eat? Am I going to release this resistance? Do I want to fight this? Do I want to put on that cloak of protection and close my heart down? Or do I have the reserves, the resilience to be open and be the observer of what I'm riding through right now? And much of this really depends on, whether you use rituals of protection or you're open. It depends on where you are vibrationally. And I know last time and on my little birthday celebration, I talked about the scale of consciousness, which I would really want to have as a download for you, but I just haven't been able to get to it. And, if any of you, by the way, want to or have graphic design skills and want to kind of collaborate with me on that, please contact me. Go to my website. It's right. Where is it? It's right right there. Right there on the screen, and contact me and let me know that you'd like to play with me with that, and we can work out some kind of an arrangement of exchange. But I do need some help with those kinds of little things that I think are really great ideas, but I don't have the energy, the time to implement those things in detail. So that's just an aside. What I was getting at is that, just to sum up my perspective on the whole protection thing, is I don't want you to be in a place where you feel like you're constantly under attack. And I know that a lot of people feel that way. And let's just see what you guys have put in here. Yeah, so when I feel tired, you're manifesting generator. So when I'm tired and and I know something is off, and usually it's from the outside world. Yeah. So and you're describing the empath's journey there with feeling that something's off, and it's usually from the outside world. So that's how that's when you feel like you need protection. Okay. And Leah Moonlight, and that's Currency Kami. Leah Moonlight, you feel the need to protect your energies when you're on social media the most, and when you have to go places with large groups of people. You refuse to go to Walmart. You feel the tightness in your solar plexus. Now, Leah, I don't know if you are on my email list or not, and that's another thing that I'm supposed to invite you to do, is to join my email list, and I'll make sure that I leave a link, putting that on my list right now. But last last email I sent out, actually inviting a lot of you here. I had a little story about how I was in Walmart. It was actually Walmart uh, to with my husband, who has an undefined head and ajna, and he was getting agitated. I was getting with my undefined solar plexus, very, very nervous in an amplified way, um, and trying to take care of his feelings until I realized that I was filtering his emotions and his agitation. And then when I calmed down and I just kind of let that flow and let that be, he really started to open up to me about what he was taking in, what he was like, the thoughts he was tuning into, and they weren't pleasant at all. Um, so yeah, I get it. We had to our uh, coping strategy at that point was to just get in and get out. And then he processed through what he was processing through, and I was releasing what I picked up from him. And yeah, and it was a whole thing of, feeling like the grocery store is a war zone. And I hear that over and over and over again. And Leah, you say that you do qigong meditation to clear your energy, build protection. Yeah, qigong is so great for that. It really builds your energy field and makes it more resilient. Working on being an alchemist of energies, transforming the negative into the positive. Absolutely. And that's what I want to kind of talk about today. And also, this is what we're going to go deeply into in my upcoming healing workshop that's starting in November, which I will leave a link to as well. Okay. Um, so this is sort of to set the tone. And for those of you who can't make the workshop, whatever, you're going to get some of these nuggets here. Yeah, and Dorothy, you feel that you only want to spend a limited time with those outside your household, whereas you used to be a person who never wanted the party to end. That's so interesting. Yeah. Um, Perhaps maybe some deepening in the understanding of how you operate, or what you can be vulnerable to, and what you really want. Uh, yeah. So hi, Erica. It's good to see you. Yeah. Yeah. So you're on the email list. That's fantastic. Um, and a 3-5 projector. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. See you later, Erica. Yeah. So I want to just talk a little bit about some of the things that came up in terms of tips for navigating outside energies, for for building more resilience, so that you don't have to shut yourself down, and you can, in a sense, be in the world but not of the world. I love that biblical reference, I guess, or that spiritual reference of really being able to be there, to be witness to it without being caught up in it. And I know this is kind of the thread of the themes that we've been talking about so far. um, and of course, I bet you guys can guess what the first tip is, um, in terms of being aware and being able to be in the world and not of it. So if you think go ahead and put it in the chat there. Um, and I'll give you a hint. It has to do with your human design experiment, right? So I think the first thing is awareness, the awareness of the energy mechanics of where you're open. And I know those of you who are here right now, you have a good sense of those, where you're taking in energy and your openness. And for anyone who's watching this who's new to human design, or you're trying to still figure out your chart, or you haven't had a reading yet, a lot of the deconditioning process of coming back to yourself and living from your chart is understanding how you take in outside energy through your openness, through those white areas on your chart. And then really becoming aware of the coping patterns that you've developed because of that, because maybe you confuse the outside with what's really, thinking that it's really yours when it's not, and or that it's really uncomfortable. It triggers your survival, the lizard brain that wants you to survive. And then you shut down, and you develop these patterns that you can more deeply understand when you understand the openness, especially the undefined and open centers in your chart. So that's the first tip, is to get get your get educated about what that is in the textbook, and then go out and live it and see if you can see it in your life. And then of course, working with that in the moment of your awareness, to understand that you don't have to close your energy down, or use that coping pattern again. That you can develop other mechanisms of being who you are in those moments, to be that empowered witness to the experience of those things that you really don't have control over. Yeah. So those of you, a lot of you already know where you are with your um, openness, and you're working with it. So that's fantastic. So another tip is, especially like those of you who go out to the grocery store, and you need those ninja skills to get through the grocery store. Um, the the major thing you want to remember is that you never want to go out when you feel vulnerable already, meaning physically vulnerable, meaning that you're a little tired, or maybe really tired. You haven't eaten. That's a practical tip for the grocery store, but anywhere that you go, that you want to make sure that all of your tanks are full. Even to the point where you're not carrying like residual emotional distress with you, because not only are you can you be vulnerable to the outside through your openness, but if you, let's say for instance, you have a defined emotional solar plexus, and you're in a place where you have a lot of emotional distress, you're putting that out into the grocery store. And guess who picks it up, right? Those of us who are open. So you kind of get an idea of how those give and takes are in the mechanics. But you want to make sure, like, that you're feeling good, you're feeling like you're rested, you're feeling like you're clear, that you feel grounded. How many times have you gone into a public place, um, even if it's like uh, a festival or something that feels really good, right? And you get sort of caught up, and you forget why you're there, and then you're not grounded in yourself, and you get carried away, and then you make a decision that's not good for you, because you've forgotten all about your strategy and authority, and then you regret it the next day. you know so or you go to the, we're using the grocery store as the example here. You go to the grocery store, and or you go into a store, and you think you're going for one thing, and you get kind of caught up and distracted by everything else that's going on around you, and you walk out with a handful of things, but you forgot the one thing that you um, came in there for. That's an example of being ungrounded. So the foundation of being grounded is to make sure you're hydrated, make sure you've eaten, make sure your body feels up to the task, whether it's going to a festival and getting caught up in all of that good feeling energy, or whether it's going to a store that you really don't want to go to, and needing to take care of your business. Always feel that grounding first. And then on top of that, another tip to really ground into your groundedness is to set your intentions before you go as to what it is that you want to get from the experience. Now, using the grocery store analogy, that can be making your list. It can be, sticking to your list. It can be, visualizing exactly what aisle the thing is, the things in that you want, and getting in and getting out. But it can also be about, setting your intention about how you are going to navigate it and navigate being among the maybe the negative energies, maybe the thing that you don't want to do. Who are you going to be in that, and really seeing yourself in that, being focused, being grounded, being in a place potentially where you can rise above it. So yeah, so those things will help to build your practical resilience when you so that you don't have to have this cloak of negativity or cloak of protection from anticipated negativity. So there are two things you can do, and I've kind of talked around this, so I just want to dial into this. There are two approaches that you can take when you are feeling like you're going to be vulnerable and you feel like you need protection. The first one is to shield yourself, and the second one is to rise above it. And we've been talking about the rising above in these live streams. So which one you choose to use depends on how you feel in your body, the level of how do I put this? A level of mundaneness that you're engaging in, that you need to engage in, and where you are in your own consciousness. Like, we can't avoid going to the grocery store all the time when maybe we're working through stuff emotionally. So you got to go, you have to eat, as the example. You have to eat, you have to go out. Maybe you're working through stuff and you're going to a therapist, and you have to go out to your therapist. You have to go out into the world at times. And you take everything with you. So it's really important to discern, where am I emotionally? Where are my thoughts today? What level of consciousness and operation do I need to be at to be effective within this situation? Like, effective meaning like grounded, focused. If there's something that you need to get done within the situation, getting that, being able to focus on getting that done efficiently. So those things will, when you take all that into consideration, there are times when you need to kind of operate on the very mundane plane of, here's my list and I'm going to go get my stuff. Or, I have to do these errands, and I need to be focused on doing these errands, right? And that's very different from, I'm going into this situation with, say, some friends that are really struggling, and that's, a lot of you are probably experiencing that now, where you have friends and you have family members and you have groups of people who are struggling with their own stuff, their own resistance, their own healing process, whatever it is, their own maybe illnesses even. And you've got to go into that because you have something for them. We don't operate in a vacuum. And if you're watching this live stream, you probably have all kinds of skills and gifts and talents that people are calling on you for, and you're called to give them. And that requires, when you walk into those landmines, so to speak, or those situations where it could truly bring you down, where you can't be of service, because you need to be up above it. You can't be in the gutter. You can't be in the low points with them and be efficient and effective at helping to give them a hand up. Those are the times when it's really important to rise above. So, I'm hoping that I'm giving you little nuggets here where you can begin to discern your game plan for certain situations in your life. Your game plan for how am I going to be fully my empowered, resilient self within this situation that I'm walking into. Um, and what skills and tools do I need in order to navigate it and meet the requirements, meet the intentions of for fulfilling the mission in the situation. So I'm going to open if any of you have comments on that or questions, feel free to post them in the comments. I'm feeling the need at this point, or the desire at this point, to just go ahead and open up to the consciousness, the higher consciousness that's here, the streams that you all are bringing in from your higher consciousness into this, and see what else there is. I've come to the end of my list, the end of my notes. And what we're doing here, what I'm doing here, what was pointed out by my guides that I'm doing, is that I'm tapping into allowing myself to be a vessel for the streams of consciousness that come, the pure consciousness that comes from source, through our higher selves, through each of you who is intending to attend or is attending. And I get to be the mouthpiece for whatever it is that you all have to say that maybe isn't being said or expressed. So the first thing that's coming through is like, I got this big wave of like fear. Ooh, and like this tingly excitement, almost like, how you get butterflies when you're ready to kind of play your game at a higher level. When you're ready to kind of take a leap into the expansion of your empowerment or the expansion of your power, right? It's like that. It's like, ooh, standing on the cliff, feeling the butterflies. And okay, so I'm just going to say it as it comes through. None of you need to be overly concerned about being attacked psychically, spiritually, emotionally, because you do not operate within that bandwidth. And you do not need to bring your energy and your consciousness into the bandwidth where attack is expected and protection is needed. Because when you bring this down, when you bring yourself down into that realm, you cannot be the beacon that pulls people up. So yes, there are instances when you are working and doing what's coming through as high magic, expanded processes where you are bringing through high levels of light and working with certain beings that bring light you up. That's what I'm seeing. Like some of you actually do work with high level beings that light you up, and you're doing high magic. High magic meaning like rituals and things that are, uh, you know, shaping our experience in the cosmos. I'm not quite sure what you're doing there. Those times are when you need to be protected, but it's not the type of protection where you're hiding your light. It's the protection of understanding the value of what you're doing, the sacredness of what you're doing, and being very intentional about who you're doing it with. That is the protection that you need in those higher levels of your high magic experiences. And this too is pertinent and relevant to living the mundane and being the light upon the hill that others can gravitate toward. To a certain extent, when you are the light up on the hill, when you have taken good care of your body and you're working through your own ego resistances, you become impervious to being pulled down and dimmed out, the light being dimmed out in you. And you become stronger and more resilient within yourself so that others can feel your grounding and are attracted to the light that you are offering, the solutions that you are offering, the processes that you're offering. Some of you are you like launching programs, the programs that you're offering that will guide them up the hill, because I'm seeing like all these people coming up the hill, guide them up the hill to a higher level of their own experience so that they are more resilient and less vulnerable to the victimization of psychic attack, emotional attack, and even physical attack. So I'm just asking, is there more that they want to say about attack? Because there is this theme on the planet right now where a lot of us are healing and turning over, having actually been true victims of attack in one way or another. You must go into the depths to unearth and heal what is your experiences that have tethered you in. Oh gosh, where's that I don't even know where that drawing is. Tethered you into the lower collective consciousness. And those of you who saw the little bubble with the darkness down in the bottom and the lower range frequencies, you know what I'm talking about. All of you hold a piece of that, and you must go into the depths of that to unearth it and release it and retune it to a place where you have more space to hold more light within yourselves. But you do not need to stay there, and you do not need protection while you are there, as long as you are protecting yourself from the inside out, meaning, taking good care of yourself, being in alignment with your design, doing the grounded practices that keep you resilient, feeding yourself the good food, hydrating your body, remineralizing your tissues, keeping your mindset clear, dealing with emotions that come up as they come up, and dealing with your own wounding and recognizing that you do not need to hold on to that. It is only coming up to take some of the sludge from the bottom of your connection with collective consciousness and move it out to be healed and transformed. You do need to have that experience, but you do not need to stay in it, and you are always safe. You are always safe. And this is what we wish you to claim now, is when you are in a place of your grounded position upon the earth with all of your tanks full, you are always safe. So we wish for you to take into the coming week the intention or the practice of recognizing when you don't feel safe. And move that awareness and that recognition internally to let it inform you of where you can begin to build more safety through your self-care, through your healing, so that you can go more deeply into what you need to unearth to become that even more elevated beacon of light for others. So feel where you don't feel safe. Ask yourself and give yourself those things those big things. They're not like big things. That's what I'm seeing. It's not like out here. It's like all in here. Did I eat enough today? Am I eating the right foods? Does my body feel like it's nourished? Am I hydrated? Am I getting enough of the vitamins and minerals that I need? And am I grounded? Have I spent enough time in nature? Am I open enough to kind of let whatever I have picked up move out of me so that I can come into my own baseline every single day and be grounded within that? That is the only protection that's needed at this time. And it comes from within. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wow. All right. I think that was the message. It comes from within. I mean, this is not anything that those of us who are here and those of you who are coming later don't already resonate with. But I think it's just a reminder and a practice to bring yourself back into your own grounding, to create your safety from the inside so that you have the resilience, the physical resilience, the emotional resilience, the mental resilience to do that deeper work when you need to do it, to unearth and get out and heal and transmute those aspects of what's still lingering in collective consciousness that is perceived as negativity, that's perceived as pain, all of that. We all have a piece of that needs to be turned over and healed and released at this time. And then that way we can move. What I was shown this morning is move across the line of the past into who we're becoming. Yeah. So I'm not seeing anybody chatting. Let's see. Leah, undefined heart, solar plexus, spleen, sacral, and root 5-1 self-projected projector. Got it. Yeah, you notice so many things that could be improved. Yeah, and from that place where you're that beacon, especially with a line 5 in your profile, you're that beacon of light, shining light onto the new path. Man, it is so important for you to be grounded in the practical solutions that you're really designed to give, to offer. Yeah. I trust myself and I trust life. The universe will give me exactly what I need when I need it. It is up to me to learn from all experiences and to evolve for the betterment of the whole. That's fantastic. I'm not sure if you're sharing that as an affirmation for all of us, but or if that's like your personal affirmation. But I invite all of you, as you're feeling into where you are safety wise during feelings in your feeling safe during the week, to feel into this affirmation as well. Thank you for offering that, Leah. I trust myself and I trust my life. The universe will give me exactly what I need when I need it. It is up to me to learn from all experiences and to evolve for the betterment of the whole. Sharing it for all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Leah. That is so fantastic. So, with that, the last thing on my live stream format list is to close. And the last time I was kind of surprised about what came through, because the word that came through for the close is to give a benediction. And when I think of benediction, I think of, like, back before I was a Catholic convert dropout, back before I converted to Catholicism briefly in my 20s, and then I dropped out. So back before that, I have these images of a priest standing there with the hands up and all of that. So I don't profess to ever be anything close to that, but let's see. There's some sort of spiritual connection with this close. So let's go ahead and just bring our hearts together. Oh, and what I'm seeing, like it's like a football huddle. We're all huddled together in a circle in our tent. Okay. Here's our benediction. Okay, imagine here we are huddled together in our circle. And you know how in football everybody, they have their playbook, they know what their next play is, and they've got their hands on each other, and I don't even know what they say. What do they say? Anyway, we're going, let me see. What do we say in this? Because we're going to move this energy. We're bringing our energies together. We're, in a sense, sort of psyching our energies up. We're all on this page of being in this empowered place where we are our own protection. And I don't know what we say. 1, 2, 3, go. I don't know. So I guess that's it. Let's try that again. So we have our playbook. We know we're working on being our own protection, and we got our hands. We're in the circle. We're in the football huddle, and we're going 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, that's our benediction. So with that, I want to thank all of you who have come on live. I want to thank those of you who couldn't be here live, but you're catching it in your time, which, there's no time in our quantum realm. And I want to thank our ancestors who have stood by and watched with joy as we work through this timeline, to also contribute to their healing, and to the healing of our predecessors. No, the ones who go after us, to our future. And I want to thank all of our higher selves, our guides, and our stream of consciousness, our light being stream of consciousness from Source. So with that, we're going to pull up the pegs of our tent and open our space. So we're pulling up I put them in the south, the north, the east, and the west. And I'm seeing like this whole teepee and this whole tent just sort of flying away. And it turns into a huge, what is this? A huge big bird. It's a swan, I think, moving out into the sky. So thank you so much, and welcome, Joe. I'm glad you could make it. And if you missed the first part, feel free to go back and jump in. All right, so there will be a live stream next Friday. I'm actually getting ready to go out of town, and but I will be back for a live stream next Friday. I will post what the topic is because it just came through yesterday. And actually, I think after next Friday, the Monday after that, I have a special guest coming on. He's going to talk about her her paintings, her guided. I think she was calling them spirit paintings, but there's something else now that's really like a healing process. I'm going to bring Carrie Lee of the Alchemical Artist from the Self-Discovery Wisdom School on. And she's got this whole thing where she's exercising or excavating her mediumship skills to bring through healing on the canvas. And that's going to be, I think, the 25th, whatever that Monday is after our next live stream circle here. All right. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming on a day earlier than what I said was the normal, and have a fantastic week. I love to hear how you're working with being your own safety from the inside out. Feel free to comment in the comments, and I will leave. Hi, Rosemary. It's so good to see you. I will leave links to the upcoming Healers Activate Your Healing Powers course that's in November. Please feel free to share that with anyone that you feel could benefit. And also, if like you have an audience of your own that's 100 people or more, and you want to collaborate on getting this out in a win-win kind of situation, please feel free to contact me. Go to my website, send me a contact form, and we can I'll send you the details on how you can do that. And I'll put all the other links up that I said I was going to do. And of course, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe so you can be notified of these live streams and videos as they come up on this channel. Thank you so much, and have a good rest of your week and next week as well. Bye, everyone.